Hey, what's up, everyone? To watch this video here for what day? Wednesday. Can't let that Monday or at the market close throw me off here. So for Wednesday, May 27th. You know what? Logged in today. The market was gapping up huge. Wayne was basically tweeting this is his least favorite scenario. And same here, man. I mean, look, here's the SPY. There's a daily candle. Huge gap up in the SPY. Now, look at what happens intraday almost invariably when you have a monster gap up. You just get really, really dull, choppy sideways action. Actually rolled over a little bit at the close. But I mean, when you have that, think about it. Every stock pretty much, and obviously there's exceptions, but pretty much every stock is gapping up, right? The index is gapping up, bunch of stocks gapping up, whole bunch of people like, cool, I'm going to take some profits, and nothing really ever follows through. There was not a lot of great follow through today. I probably had 5 trades that I took that just didn't follow through at all. And I even said in the pre-market, don't chop yourself up today because it's going to be generally probably very little follow through and sideways chop all day. And it's exactly what happened. And I would say, and I still chopped myself up, but I didn't. I mean, I lost $300 today, which for me is basically a flat day. But at the same time, it was aggravating that I tried to trade this environment. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the rest of the week because we shouldn't be staring a massive gap up in the market in the face the rest of the week. So anyway, here's what I'll be watching going into tomorrow. Remember, these are for intraday trades. I like to make money on an intraday basis and then get back to cash before the closing bell. Although I didn't do that very, very well today. Most days I end up green, right? mRNA. This is the one. I don't know what 6 sessions ago now they thought it was going to save the world, and vaccine for COVID, and it hasn't broken a previous day's high since, and actually accelerating to the downside now. This 56 high back here, roughly 56, kind of flagged below and then broke out above that. It's kind of an interesting area. A lot of times you get a retest of that. Pretty good volume on the selling though. Obviously I'm not in love with this, but shorts have been killing it. Ever since the gap up, shorts have been killing it. We might get a nice snapback bounce one of these days. Maybe, especially if it coincides with maybe a decent headline about the vaccine. But I'm a day trader, so I'll have it on a chart. I doubt I'll trade it, but we'll see. Maybe it gives an A+ setup. YCBD, some of the pot stocks have been strong lately, and this one is just after the gap up, really straight sideways. What I'm looking for in this, and this is what I look for oftentimes on a recent, what I'll call a recent high flyer, is a sideways move in an afternoon break out of that sideways move. So this would have been, let's see, this was Tuesday, market was closed Monday, so this was Friday, so this was Thursday. It didn't actually, let's see, I don't know, is that the opening candle or the closing candle? This is actually a good example of what I'm talking about. The very end of the day, this had a nice little pop. And notice it's a recent high flyer, sideways all day, and then broke near the end of the day, broke out of a range and broke the high of day. I didn't take it, didn't see it, I don't believe, but nice little example of a narrow range and an end of day pop. Now that was in the final 15 minutes. Obviously, I'd like that to happen maybe a little earlier so it has time to follow through. But then this would have been Friday, so that was Thursday. This would have been Friday, never broke it. There's the early high, never broke it. Today, there's the early high, never broke it. So again, I wouldn't mind seeing a day like this, and then in the afternoon, it breaks out, and then maybe people, you get the effect where people pile in and say, hey, it's going again, right? Especially if pot stocks are strong. So there's a synopsis of what I'm looking for in that one. Let me go to the daily on this SURF. Massive move here, couple days lower on declining volume. I would like this to be back down by the moving averages, but this is a very interesting chart to me. That was a crazy move that it made. And now you got 2 days lower, fairly narrow in range, especially compared to the big day. So I wouldn't mind seeing one more red day, but I am going to put this on bounce watch going into tomorrow. SNDL, I believe, also falls into the pot stock camp. Really nice volume on Friday. And then a very dead day today on very low volume. So maybe we get a third day play there. Plus it topped out around $1. So I like it over $1. Then we might retest this $1.28 from, again, what was that? Friday. All right, so that one's kind of interesting. XSPA. Talked about this one in the video coming into today. No trades in it today. And a pretty narrow range, just an inside day, topped out at $1.04. It becomes a little bit interesting on Wednesday tomorrow. If it gets over today's high, maybe it retests the high of the big day. So we'll see. Not in love with it. PRTY, which I believe is Party City. Don't quote me. Double check that. Yeah, Party City Holdings. You know, a lot of retailers were strong today and have been really, really beaten up. This one's interesting because you had this big volume spike back here to 89 cents, and then today actually broke that, went to 92 cents before closing at 84. But nice volume again today. Kind of had this island down here that it's trying to break out of. So that one is on watch tomorrow. MBIO. Don't love this because it had really nice volume but closed way off its highs. Probably my least favorite there. If I pan out a little bit, you can kind of see. That's a big volume day, though. Look how many days have gone by before it's hit this kind of volume. With a stronger close today, that would have been more interesting, but it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. This is actually my favorite chart coming into tomorrow, LEDS. There was a CNBC piece on using ultraviolet light to help get amusement parks back open, and probably some other places too. So ultraviolet light kills COVID. That doesn't mean they're going to run humans through an ultraviolet light to kill any COVID that's inside of them, but probably for belongings and things like that, and maybe just areas that need to be sterilized and so on. Anyway, that could be a theme going forward, and I like the chart a lot. To low float stock, you had the big pop here, which was last week, that topped out at 380, and then looked like it was rolling over. I already had it on long watch coming into today, and then it got a big volume spike. And I came very close to having a nice trade in this one. I got a good grab on the first pullback at like 305, and I'd offered some out, I want to say at like 343, and it topped out at 337. And I never really got a decent sell in it. I mean, it was green in the name, but anyway, look at the strong close with the story and the low float and how resilient this is. Probably my favorite going into tomorrow. That's LEDS. PVAC, PVAC. Kind of an interesting chart. An oil and gas play, popped back here and kind of flagged and then trying to break above and kind of flagging again. But generally, the daily range on this is fairly terrible. SM is in that same space, I believe. I like this chart a little bit better. Remember this big 2-day run? We had a nice trade in it on this day. I actually remember. Really nice trade in it. And then the very next day, it topped out at 439, kind of flagging ever since then today with the entire market and oil gapped up, but didn't go anywhere, but did top out at 425. I would call that a quarter number inflection point if it gets over 425 tomorrow. And we look to the left and we say it's got a 439 potential catalyst just above. So love this. I want to say tomorrow over 425, but really, if this goes sideways for a few days or a week or two, anytime that gets over 425, you might see a continuation of that volume from a few weeks ago, maybe close to a month ago. And then lastly, I just wanted to throw one airline on watch because they were all strong today. I just randomly chose SAVE. Maybe not random, but nice volume. Most of the airline stocks look the same. And I say maybe not random because it closed at 1231, but the high was 1259. So we might get a half number inflection point tomorrow through 1250, knowing 1259 could be another catalyst. That, of course, would be only if all the airlines are strong. And I'm going to leave it at that. Again, I was terrible today. I mean, I shouldn't have traded. When I see the big gap up in the market, I'm probably just better off to walk away. But being in front of the screens, you might find an A+ setup in something that doesn't care that the market's chopping sideways. You might get a great story in something and so on. But every time I thought I had one of those, there was just no follow through at all. And I got 10 1/4-ish miles on my treadmill. So to me, today was a win, right? Really, really nice day as far as exercise goes. And I got some touches on some trades, albeit I ended up slightly red. I have a feeling the rest of the week I'm going to do pretty well. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll see you in chat tomorrow.